Hello everyone, Arglefump here with a speedrun for Nancy Drew, Sea of Darkness. I did this speedrun on Master Sleuth mode. I actually did a speedrun on Amateur Sleuth mode and Master Sleuth mode. Master Sleuth mode is slightly faster. It took me 33 minutes and 50 seconds to beat it on Master Sleuth mode, and it took me 33 minutes 51 seconds on Amateur Sleuth mode.
Freezing out here.
So yes, Master Sleuth mode is 1 second faster than Amateur Sleuth mode. Hard to believe, but it's true.
I get it.
So here at the very beginning of the game, I just skipped through the conversation with Dagny, and then I run over to Gunnar.
Good day.
Then I'll skip through the conversation with him.
I'll let you go.
And then I have this somewhat long conversation between Gunnar and Elizabeth. So I find it interesting in this game that you can skip through most of the conversations, but not this one. Not sure why that's the case. I did this speedrun in 8 different segments, so that means there are 7 points where I stop and I save my game. This first segment is 1 minute and 53 seconds long. It's 53.5 seconds long, and in Amateur Sleuth mode it was 153.6 seconds long, so I was 0.1 second faster on Master Sleuth mode. I don't know why.
Sit there in that stupid chair for all I care. There'll be no service at the Misty Skip tonight. Happy now?
I don't know, it's just, you know, I guess I clicked faster, or that the game didn't slow down as much.
I should try to get some sleep.
That is the main time waster in both my Master Sleuth and Amateur Sleuth speedruns. It's just that the game goes slowly for me because my computer is older than the game.
Okay, time to get to work.
So I think hopefully someday when I get a new, better computer, I will be able to redo this speedrun. I'll be able to do it faster. And you'll notice that the audio levels just changed because I did a live stream of the game and people were complaining about the audio levels in the live stream, and I forgot to change them back to normal after that. So my apologies for the different audio levels. Okay, so I got myself money. That was basically what I was doing with the kroner, and now I'm going over here.
Looks like this dinghy's in good shape. I wonder who owns it. The motor's busted.
This is just me triggering puzzles for later on. And by later on, I mean pretty much right now.
Hi there.
Actually, wait, no. The dinghy puzzle is something I'll be doing, but I mean, you'll notice I did it right now. Part 2 coming later.
Everything in the gift shop is available for purchase.
Now it is randomized here if Soren talks. Sometimes when you buy things, Soren will comment on it. He'll say something like, "Ooh, that's a nice one," or "Excellent choice." It's obviously faster if Soren does not talk to you.
Always use the... Goodbye.
It doesn't take too long, it only takes like a couple of seconds, but still, I mean, it's faster if he doesn't talk. And this area on the ship is definitely an area where I have a lot of games slow down. And so if it looks like I'm hesitating for half a second before clicking, it's because I'm double checking to make absolutely sure that I've got my mouse in the right spot. And, you know, I'm giving the game a little bit of time to catch up. But here inside the ship, there's no lag. I don't know why, you know, wandering upstairs to the ship causes my game to go slowly, but inside it doesn't. I suspect it's because it's snowing outside, and that snowing animation takes a while. There are also places where you see, like, the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights animation also can take a while sometimes. Okay, so we're in the middle of segment number 4. This is 6 minutes and 34 seconds. On Amateur Sleuth mode, it was 6 minutes 35 seconds. And if you include like the point seconds, so like it was 34.83 compared to 35.4. So it's not a full second difference between Amateur Sleuth and Master Sleuth modes. Have you seen anything fancy lately? No, you'll notice this puzzle is exactly the same on both Amateur Sleuth and Master Sleuth modes. Granted, we're only 5 minutes into the game, but you'll see that. A lot of the puzzles are the same on both modes. So that's why they're pretty much the exact same when it comes to how long it takes to play the game. Now here I'm doing the strategy of, getting all the red letters in place first, and then getting all the blue letters. I'm trying to confine myself to various areas, right? So you'll notice I did the top left first, and then the bottom left, and then the right, bottom right, and then the top right.
Looks complete.
As opposed to getting
What
all
can I
the red
use this
letters
for?
all over the board and then doing the entire board. Just a slightly different strategy.
Okay, time to place some pins.
The time it takes switching between two strategies, I don't think either strategy is like super better than the other. It's basically a matter of memorization. Oh no, that's kind of a mess up. I accidentally did not grab the L, or I accidentally didn't grab the pin there.
This is one of the sounding numbers Magnus
But
was
back
looking
to
for.
the word search puzzle. I don't think either strategy is a huge improvement over the other. Now I zoom through Ned's conversation.
Oh, Nick. This case is... Maybe I don't...
Ready?
So we're gonna do this middle management
Okay, so
style.
this is
That
going to be the
you do
biggest
work
mistake
and I
of the entire
supervise.
run.
Each of those circuit pieces will
I'm
attach
going to
anywhere
really
on this
mess
board,
up
but there
on
are
this
special
circuit
numbers
board
you've got to
puzzle.
watch out for.
Now there
Covered
are
numbers
multiple
add together to
solutions
give that
to the
piece
circuit
a total
board
value.
puzzle,
If you
and,
can use all 5
this
pieces to
time,
hit all 5
the
target
solution you
values,
pick
the heater will be
matters.
fixed.
You know,
Basically,
I'm actually not
the
sure
solution
that's
with
how
more pieces on the
electricity
right-hand
works.
side of the board
Oh, yeah?
is faster
Okay.
because
Where'd
you
you
pick
get
up
your
all the
PhD in
pieces from the
electricitology
right-hand
again?
side of the board. That was my idea there.
If you know this much, why
Yeah,
haven't
but
you tried
there
to
I
fix
made a
it yet?
misclick,
Hey,
and
if I had to do all the hard
messed
thinking
me
around
up.
here, you'd be out of a job.
So, where'd you come from?
The United States.
Oh, and I messed
That
up
was
on
the
the
strangest
purple
wiring
one
panel I've
too.
ever
So you'll
seen.
notice there were
But I
2
think the
lines
heat's
of
on.
dialogue that we had to listen to. So where'd you come from, and the
Okay.
United States. So that's like 2 to 3 seconds.
I'll let you go.
Granted, not that bad in the overall scheme of things. This is like a 36-minute video after all. However, it just,
Hello?
just looks bad that I made that mistake and wasted 2 to 3
What's all-
seconds. Okay, so
But you don't-
as I was talking about earlier, I was talking about
Could you hear
slowdown during the navigation.
I need a way
So
to
that
get-
was an example of it. You'll notice instead of going
I'll let you go.
right, I was originally trying to go right up to the wheelhouse, but I made a mistake. And so I had
motor's
to go
intact,
up
but we
left
need to
and then
replace the
U-turn
spark
and then
plugs
go
and
straight.
cables.
And so that's just what happens sometimes. I click a mouse, click, and the game thought I was going left when I wanted to go right. And that's again, it's not really
working.
that bad.
Don't know whose boat this
it
is,
didn't
but I'll
cost me
just
any
borrow
time,
it for a
but
little while.
maybe it cost me a little bit of time, like, a third of a second. So I don't know. I'm just trying to complain
Well, I
that
made it to the top.
if
Better
there
give
was no
Alex a call.
slowdown, that navigation would have been perfect. But because there was slowdown, that navigation required me to take like a couple of extra steps.
I need to create white
Okay, and here I'm saving my game.
light.
So this is amazing luck
I
right
need to
here.
create white light to get the lighthouse running again.
So, my all-time speed, this is not the first time I've tried speedrunning the game, but my last time I tried speedrunning the game, my all-time speed for this puzzle was 47.27 seconds. That took me over 100 tries. It was like five nights in a row. Every night I'd play for like an hour, not an hour, but like 20 minutes, half hour or so. I just play over and over and over again here on Master Sleuth mode, trying to get the best time possible. And I think it was like something like 5 or 4 of the times out of all those nights like 5 or 4 of those times, I actually got a score underneath
Phew, fixed
50
it.
seconds.
Time to phone Alex again.
Okay, so guess how many times it took me to get that speed of 47.47 seconds?
Oh, that's not good.
It took me 2 tries.
The
That was
windows are
literally
open.
my second attempt
so
at the puzzle.
cold.
So, you know,
I
previously it
need
took
to
me
get out of here.
hundreds of tries.
Okay.
This
Small
time it only
numbers at
took
the
me
bottom,
2.
Big number at the top.
So I was
Looks like the piece
very,
was
very
added to the
happy
total
with
of the
that.
piece above
Even
them.
though it wasn't, even though it's like 0.2 seconds more than my all-time best, it was just amazing that I was able to get it done that quickly. So that puzzle is different on Master Sleuth and Amateur Sleuth modes. That puzzle is longer on Master Sleuth mode. So that is the only puzzle we've seen so far, which is really a time
That
difference.
was too close.
That
And
number
somehow,
puzzle there,
I have a feeling it wasn't an
that's
accident.
different, but it takes the exact same amount of time to do it, because you're putting the same number of pieces on the board. That should be it for puzzles we see, which are different than... Yeah, so there, once again, that, you know, navigation making me go up to the left when I was trying to go to the right. Ugh. Navigation here is also hard, having to spin.
I have a feeling Elizabeth never opened
There's
her
an alternate
gift.
route where
4
you
crystals of
do
each
U-turns,
color,
like
huh?
you've seen.
This must be the key to Magnus's cabin. I'll just be borrowing
That's something you
this.
learn while playing this game. It's like, oh, it accidentally sent you somewhere else. You have to learn to where to do U-turns and such.
It's out of gas.
And another
No
place
dice.
is, you know, right there when you're trying to make the left-hand turn to
That should
reach
do it
the
for the fuel
snowmobiles.
tank.
If you're off by a little bit, instead of going left, the game will make you go forward instead. And so you have to learn to go forward and
Something's
left
wrong.
quickly,
Is
which
someone
is
Ned,
slightly longer than, you know, just going forward left in one go. So
I
all
wonder
of
what
these
these
puzzles,
images are
these are
for.
puzzles which are different on Master Sleuth and Amateur Sleuth
these must
modes.
belong with that reference I saw earlier.
Again, it takes
4 of each
basically the
color
exact
down
same
and
amount
across.
of time here.
No 3 together in a line.
Because you've basically got the same number of crystals to touch. I didn't actually count out how many crystals there were. Here, this puzzle works just fine if you're just reading the solution off a piece of paper. Memorization is not that much of a help here. I think the reason memorization is not that much of a help here is just because you've got such big pieces.
Got it. I need to arrange these pieces to see what the full image looks like.
Alright, I'm going to put 3 pieces here. And beautiful.
A spare luggage key, huh? A dog bed.
Now that's also a
But
place where
no
the game
dog?
might make you mess up. If you're trying to press it down from that thing, the game might think you're actually trying to flip that piece of
Dog
paper
toys?
and
This must
read
be
the other
related
one.
to the note Magnus
So,
left for
I
himself.
mean, that's, like I said, there are lots of little things in this game that you have to look out for navigation. This puzzle has the same solution on both Amateur Sleuth and Master Sleuth modes. Amateur Sleuth mode starts with 3 or 4 different pieces already on the board, so it is technically faster to do it on Amateur Sleuth mode. Let's see how fast it is. Okay, so this took me 12 minutes and 36.67 seconds on Master Sleuth, and Amateur Sleuth is 12 minutes, 36.83 seconds. So I was actually faster here by like 0.15 seconds on Master Sleuth mode. And you know, whenever there seems to be
wonder if
a
anyone
time
else has seen
difference, it's usually just navigation. That's all. I'm just amazed at how much time navigation can take. I've definitely had like
I bet I can break through this ice with a sharp enough tool.
I've had, you know, things of this segment, which took 14 minutes instead of 12 minutes, and all of that time, that extra minute and a half, was just navigation. It wasn't one of the puzzles got bad or anything, it was just moving around from place to place. And you'll notice, you know, when I was going through the caves there, I slowed down a little bit at certain places. And then, once I got my mouse in the perfect
What are
position,
you
I just went zoom, zoom, zoom,
Golden
zoom, zoom,
fish
all the
for
way to the
Elizabeth.
end.
What's wrong, Fiskid? You look like a giant man just threatened me.
There are a couple of places in the cave that you want to
Well,
look out for,
back to
like
Gotham.
the left-hand turn there. There was a left-hand turn
Oh.
somewhere in the cave, and grabbing the photos is a place where you really need to get your mouse into a
Better hurry.
specific
He'll be
position.
back soon.
Right-clicking on the
That book
luggage
mentioned
thing
this
is
crow's
also
nest.
kind of difficult.
Maybe there's
The
something here.
the window for those picture
This looks
pieces that you
similar to
pick
that
up is
note I
kind
found in
of
Magnus's
small.
journal.
And it's not right next to the window where you want the mouse to be, because you want to immediately turn around and go back. You know, go back, turn around, go forward, flip around. So here I'm reading the solution off the piece of paper. Not really that much faster to have this puzzle memorized. I have the puzzle half memorized, but it doesn't really make a difference.
It's Soren, and he looks injured. Oh no.
Oh no, poor Soren. So as soon as you steal
What
Dagny's
happened
luggage,
here?
this
It looks
happens.
like there's been a struggle. That's Dagny's phone. But where's Dagny? Easy enough. Let's see.
You'll notice I moved my mouse up to the top of the screen. What you want to do is
So
get your
Magnus
mouse in
knew
the
he was
correct
being
spot. I didn't get
I need
it
to
correct
get a
there,
closer look
obviously,
at that
but
bed
you know,
frame.
you want it there so you can immediately double click and get that thing from Magnus.
The bilge is open? But why?
So there have been many times when I played this game and I
What's
typed
going
in
on?
Dagny's cell phone password scuttlebutt, and one of the
Okay,
T's
stay
just
calm,
did
stay
not
calm.
register. I don't
I need
know
to recreate the numbers written in the corner
if
on
I'm
the
just
center
bad at
dial.
typing, maybe. Maybe I'm bad at typing, or you know, I just press the buttons.
The
too-
water
too
stopped,
quickly.
but the
I don't
gate's
know.
still shut. Help!
Nancy!
Okay, so this time I'm
Are
getting
you
my
alright?
mouse in the correct position. I should get it in the correct position here. So, I mean, I will immediately be able to skip through the conversation. See, I was just a little bit off.
Bye-bye.
So that's a lot of what happens with a speedrun and learning the navigation and everything. It's like,
Get out of my pub!
You wish like there was a
Enough
map
already.
on your
Just leave
computer
me be.
which
I
indicated
never asked
where's
for
a
you
good
to
area to
intervene.
click, where's
Just
the bad
stay where
area
I
to
can't
click.
see you.
Because even when you have it basically memorized, you can make mistakes. And right now I'm getting my mouse into position so I can jump ahead. That's the best way to help with navigation. You know, if you're having trouble with navigation, I don't blame you, because that's the biggest time waster of the entire game, especially if your computer slows down like mine does.
There are markings behind the barnacles.
But, you know, if you're having trouble with navigation,
Well,
it's
fire.
best to
I bet these images
get your
represent
mouse
pieces of
already
larger
into
words.
positions. Like,
Maybe
I've
if
got
I
my mouse
match
here on rainbow. So that's the way to speed up navigation, is to anticipate where your mouse is going to go. That helps out slightly.
Two broken pieces. I bet I can fix the locator now.
Now, originally, the speedrun strategy was to stop
I've got
there at the
13 and
wheel
26.
and make a new
I need
segment.
to find two more
But
numbers to
it
add up
turns
to
out
86.
the wheel thing is not randomized. It's exactly the same every
Got
single
it.
time.
These are the four numbers for that lock.
So when you've got the solution memorized, you can just zoom right through that puzzle.
Check.
Let's check
Check.
Nancy's task
Still have to
list.
do that. Did that. Haven't done that. Check. Haven't done that. Haven't done that. Haven't done that.
So
Still have to do
Elizabeth
that.
is singing
Did that.
here, and
Check.
that's kind of a time waster.
Still have to do that.
But you don't want
Haven't
to
done
skip
that.
it.
Can't check that off yet. Haven't done that. Sounds like Elizabeth?
Basically, there's like a 3-minute gap in between Gunnar getting kicked out of the pub and Gunnar reappearing, and so I need 3 minutes of stuff to do.
I think I need
so
to
I
get all
gave
the wooden
myself
sections pressed down.
this route has seven different puzzles for you to solve in between Gunnar getting kicked out and
Magnus
Gunnar
seems pretty
reappearing.
insistent over this long spiel thing.
And you know, obviously, I did this.
An old keyless lark.
I'd say over 100
The trick
times.
is to enter a
I did
combination
basically
from
every
the
segment
smallest
50
number
to
to the
60
largest.
times, and because I played on both modes, I did this segment 100 or so times.
Those noises are...
Usually,
mechanical.
I mean, I'd say
Something
like a
within the
third
ship
of those
must have
times I
unlocked
died on the
elsewhere.
original puzzle of the numbers.
If this is the original captain's bed, then I should take a
So,
closer look.
yeah.
They're Venn diagrams.
These other puzzles are
I
pretty
need to place the numbers
simple
inside
and
the circle so that they add up to the totals within the overlapping
don't
sections.
give you too much room for wasting a ton of time. But that numbers puzzle at the very beginning to get out of the lighthouse, that was a pain and generally just killed me.
Score one for Nancy.
So, anyway, as I was saying, we've got a
doggy pill
3-minute
in
wait
Magnus's
here in
note.
this segment, and oh gosh, wow, I keep forgetting what I'm saying. Yeah, I did this segment like 100 times, and there were like 4 or 5 times where Gunnar did not appear. Where I was too fast in solving my 7 puzzles, and then I had to do this, wait for Gunnar to reappear.
What happened with Maybe
And I feel
I'll get the...
bad about
Nancy,
that, because it's like, oh no, now I have to waste 10 seconds waiting for him to appear.
Got it.
But like I said,
There's
that
a
only
hole in the
happened
center.
about 4 or 5 times out
it's
of
unlocked
100,
already.
just due to game slowdown and stuff like that. I wish
This
there
is
was a way to
so
turn
neat.
off my virus
I wish I
protection.
could play these.
Because my virus protection,
It's
kept
subtle,
running in the
but I see
background
some
and slowing
differences
my
in the halves of
computer
this
down.
pattern.
So I wish there was a way to turn that off. That might help the problem with slowdown. But because of the slowdown problem, I was not that fast except for 4 or 5 times. So if there was some way to eliminate slowdown and do it perfectly, what I would do is reroute the game.
Yeah.
Do a different route.
They're gone.
So I'm doing an 8th
Come see-
puzzle during that 3-minute break. I'd probably either do the Gears puzzle in Below Decks, or
Welcome back.
or that puzzle near Soren's, where you're doing things on the mast, making those groups of 6. Now, it would be a time saver in that you wouldn't have to spend the 10 seconds
Mind
waiting
explaining
for
what all
Gunnar.
that was about?
But, let me see.
I love you, but
You would, in fact, have to waste some time doing backtracking. So I don't know how much time you would save. You'd probably... I don't know. I mean, obviously you wouldn't wait, but you have to do the backtracking to Soren's place, though, so... Yeah, I think backtracking to Soren's place would be a lot faster than backtracking to the hold. But if you did that right after, when you were already in the hold, it would maybe take like 3 to 5 seconds, and we only had to wait for Gunnar for like 5 seconds, so... I don't know, something for me to test and try out when I get a computer that can actually play this game at top speed while recording. Something that also
I've
might
seen
be
this design
worth
before.
rerouting for is
it's from the
trying to get
Lighthouse.
another set
There must be
of
something there.
painting pictures earlier, because doing all the painting pictures
It's
there
Elizabeth.
took
And what's under
forever.
that tarp? Oh, this is bad.
There are a lot of little tiny rules as to which pieces can go in and where and in what order, and so it would be a huge help if I could have 2 of the painting scraps already in place, not just 1. That would seriously cut down on the time, because that's something, again, like something I did over 100 times, and it's at the start of the segment, so whenever I messed up, I would reset it.
Hey,
So,
Drew.
I got
So
like
much for being
45
missing.
and
I've
under,
been looking for
like
you.
fun fact. It's
three
really
times,
easy to
three
fake a footprint
times.
these days. What do you say we talk this over down
And
in
by
the
45
fort?
and under, I mean under
Next
45
to the
seconds
heater?
to solve that
You
that
look like you
puzzle.
could
I
use
did
a
have a
coffee
timer
break.
running
Take a
on
load
my
off.
screen.
It's freezing up here, and I have a feeling this is going to be a long one.
I want to believe the best here, but
You should stop doing that. People like me don't deserve
So this
that.
is segment
Anyways,
7. It's 7 minutes,
you,
17
me,
seconds.
Town.
Amateur sleuth mode, it's 7 minutes
You
and
must-
35 seconds. So this is where the big time saver of the run is. This is where Master Sleuth mode finally proves that it's better than
I think
Amateur
it's time to
Sleuth
find out
mode
what
once and
Elizabeth's
for all.
hiding in that deck closet.
Nancy, stop! Don't go in there!
Sorry, Elizabeth, but it's time to come clean. I know you're hiding someone in there.
No, you can't!
How did the dog open a locked door? I guess maybe Nancy opened it from the outside at the same time the dog was pushing on it. I don't know. Now I'm getting my mouse in the right
So
position.
much for finding-
Ah. Man, so close yet so far.
Ring.
I feel like I'm doing that puzzle from Nancy Drew
My dog
Danger,
at home
Danger
has
by
one of
Design,
these.
where you
Pretty
have to
clever hiding place.
click on things without being able to see them. Was that a fun puzzle? No, not really. That was a monster
Bet I can
puzzle.
use Dagny's token to rotate these. Let's get them all facing right side up.
This is the fastest solution, I believe. This is the recommended solution to the game. Not to the game, to that particular puzzle. Navigation there with the lion heads is difficult because the game thinks you want to reopen up the lion head instead of turning around. And you'll
This
notice in the
belongs to
navigation
Elizabeth's
out of
family,
town to
and
the
her song is the
snowmobiles
missing
there,
piece.
instead of getting
I wonder
the
if I can arrange these
up left
teeth to play that
arrow,
song.
I had to go up and then left. And because I had prepared for that to be possible, it was not a time waster. But I mean, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, of just being slightly off with the navigation, and so you have to do a navigation which is a little different. So knowing just navigation is key. Just knowing navigation is key to moving around the game quickly. Especially, you know, if you're having trouble with slowdown, like I was having trouble with slowdown. Which is why the next game I'm going to be speedrunning is Nancy Drew Haunting of Castle Malloy, which is not so intensive on a computer. That is also, the conversation with Dagny is also a tricky place to
That's the ship alarm.
navigate.
No.
Just everywhere with the
There's a room back there. It looks like it
snowmobile
was
is kind of
concealed in the
tricky to
ship's
navigate.
lining. Looks like I need to press the
I mean,
correct
if there's one
sections
area in the
according to
game
these
that I would
numbers.
say you need to change navigation screens, make them a little bit bigger, I would say that the snowmobile places. And the navigation trickiness is accentuated by the fact
It's
that
a
you
machine of
have to
sorts,
wait.
but some pieces are
You
missing.
have to wait for the sound effect to finish playing before Nancy can move. That is before the navigation arrows show up. So that's kind of a... Oh no, I'm just being a whiner. So this is the end of the game.
Oh, this looks ancient.
That puzzle
It
is the
must be
same.
from the
I
original
mean, that
captain.
the
I
the
bet I
dart
need to get
puzzle
one
is
of every
different.
symbol on
It's
each row
the exact
and
same
column.
amount of time to solve because what's the solution? You click the board 8 times, both modes. I think the Master Sleuth mode to this puzzle is slightly easier. Oh, no, it's the Amateur Sleuth mode to this puzzle that's slightly... No, here we go. Because we have these blue pieces, those blue diamonds are really close to each other, so that might make it slightly faster, but in both Amateur Sleuth and Master Sleuth modes, you are putting 36 pieces on the board.
Easy peasy.
So, same length both ways.
I need to get this sliding shape over to that
And this is the
treasure
time
marking.
saver. This is the time-saving puzzle. This is the one puzzle, you know, it's like 18 seconds faster on Master Sleuth mode. Sure, it's more difficult, but it is also faster. A much faster solution.
All right, it popped open. The journal looks complete now.
Alright, and now I just run all the way. I mean, you can see what I'm talking about with navigation, where it was much faster for me to get from the ship to, you know, from inside to on board, and then I kind of had to
This
slow down
design
from
matches the
on
one from
board
those
to the
drawings.
boat.
I'll need
the
to have
dinghy.
one of each
It's not
number
actually a
within
boat,
each
it's a dinghy.
outline triangle, and one of each number along the horizontal and diagonal rows 2.
Final segment here, segment 8, it took me 3 minutes, 52.7 seconds. And Amateur Sleuth mode, 3 minutes, 52.17 seconds. So that's a difference of, like, 7 minus 17, however that many. This solution, it's slightly faster if you have it memorized. Only slightly. I'm kind of disappointed. I put a lot of effort into memorizing, because I know where the 6s, the 7s, the 8s, and the 9s are. But it's like, it's really not that much of a time saver to have it memorized. So one way the game handles slowdown is, you know, you running down the lighthouse. It will take that extra second, because it's slowing down to catch up, so it will take the extra second when the screen is black before the screen turns back to color and Nancy arrives at the dock.
Madness?
Yeah.
I'm Nancy. I'm here to get you out.
I mean, I could tell because I got to see the frame numbers in the upper right-hand corner while I was recording, and, you know, the frame numbers while I'm going down the stairs to the lighthouse drop from 60
No
frames per
signal.
second to
Guess
something
we'll
like
have to find a way out
7.
on our own.
And so whenever that happened, Nancy would spend longer at the dock before she... It would take longer for Nancy to appear at the dock when the game was slowing down. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to go get help.
Soren, I
This
can't believe
cutscene
you
was
do
also
all
a
this.
place
That bruise on
with a
your
lot
face,
of
selling the
slowdown, and that
sheep
kind of makes
rights?
me a
You lied to me.
little...
You were using us all
little
to find
sad.
a treasure for you. But you're still missing
Because it's
something,
basically just a
aren't
cutscene of you sitting around doing
Nancy, you're
nothing.
a
But
very
then again,
smart girl.
you know, we have to
You
watch the
know
animation
exactly
of characters
why we're
moving.
here. You're gonna
so...
find that treasure for me right now. Just you, me, and Gudrun here.
Oh, Gudrun. Okay, so basically, yeah, this final
Look,
segment being about
there's your
4
treasure.
minutes long, most of it is
Crest of the
scenes.
Dutch East
I
India
mean,
Company.
you know, the first
and
part was that
detail.
that
It's
triangle
exquisite.
puzzle, which,
After all these years, I
you know,
found it. It was
the rest of it is
all
mostly
worth it.
Soren talks.
I think it's high time I
And,
vanished.
you talk to
Goodbye, Nancy.
Magnus, then
I won't be
Soren
back,
talks for a
but
while, then
I'm
you
sure
find
you'll
his
make it out of
thing,
here
and then he
eventually.
talks for
That
more
is, if you
time.
don't starve or freeze first. Give those xenophobic idiots my regards.
And Nancy's
Wait,
going to find the
Soren!
real treasure. She's going to blab for a while. Then you solve the final puzzle, and then there's more talking. And then the speedrun comes to an end.
Wow, this has to be the real treasure. It's not a myth after all.
So if you've
These
played the game
images
yourself,
are
you'll
from
know that the
Lawrence's
navigation
final
in the
letter.
caves in this
Just
part
need to
is
press them
different from
correctly.
before. Previously you went left, this time you had to go right. At this one juncture.
I must have been the first to get this far. This
So
is
that's a
incredible.
slight difference between the two
Are
modes
you back there?
Magnus, I'm here. I found the real deal.
Oh yeah, and I probably
I
should
think
mention
I'm
earlier,
stuck now.
why
I'm not
is
sure
it
how
the
to
case
get
I
over
say,
to
hey,
the
the
exit.
speedrun is 33 minutes and 50 seconds
Well,
long,
that works
when
too.
the video's over that time?
So,
Well,
the treasure Soren found was
the time
Yes,
spent
Captain Lawrence
saving
hid
and
the
loading the
real
game
chest,
does not
so that
count
only his
towards
true
the
descendants
total
knew where to
time.
find it.
So the way I got to that
I don't
total
think
is I
so.
put
This
the
treasure belongs to the
videos
town,
into my
not
video
me.
editor, and I cut out on the frame where the game loads and the game
Soren, I
unloads.
think I'm calling this case
I mean
closed.
saves. So as soon as the save button
Dear
thing
Hannah,
appears,
the secret of Skip Rock's famous
that's
treasure
when I
is
stop the
finally
timer,
put to
and as
rest,
soon as
and the
it
case is
goes
closed.
away is when I
Soren
restart the
confessed to
timer.
his crimes as soon as Magnus and I caught up with him. As it turns out,
So
he was the
also
one
the timer
following
does
Magnus
not begin
all along,
until I
looking
press
for
Master
his chance to
Sleuth
take the
mode.
treasure for himself.
And the
Soren
timer
was ordered
doesn't
to complete
end
1,000 hours of community
until
service in
Nancy
lieu of jail
finishes that
time,
conversation
and
with
he took the sentence
Alex. So
very
as soon as
seriously.
Alex's text
He's been
box
incredibly active
disappears,
around town ever since.
that's when the timer
treasure
stops.
is in good hands with
So
Elizabeth.
that
Her
is
family
my
legacy has
explanation,
finally
long-winded
come full
explanation, but
circle.
explanation
Magnus
for
apologized to Elizabeth for having
why
been so distant leading up to
I
the
have a
festival.
30
The two of them are doing
33-minute
well,
run
and
in a
Magnus finally got that
36-minute
ship he's
video.
always dreamed of. He and Elizabeth packed their things and left to
Actually,
travel
it's
the
almost
world.
exactly 3
and of
minutes,
course,
so
Timmy went too. I
about 3
just
minutes
got a
of this
call from
video is
Elizabeth.
stuff that
I
doesn't
think they're
count
somewhere
towards
near
the time of
Thailand
the
as we
total
speak.
speed run.
Elizabeth
Most
left
of
the
it
mystery
being this
skip pub
ending
in
scene
Gunner's
here.
hands while she's gone.
Some
Gunner
of it
seems to be
being the
happier than ever.
seven
He's back
times
on
I
his
stopped
feet,
and
and he
saved,
even
and
took me
some
out
of
on a
it being
fishing
the very
trip.
start of the game.
He's still pretty cranky when it comes to tourists, but I think he'll get the hang of things. Soren's helping Gunner out with the pub as part of his community service arrangement, and he seems to be settling in. People are still wary of Soren, but they're starting to warm up to him in a way they haven't
Now,
before.
if the ending
attitude
counted
around town is
towards the
definitely
official
changing.
time,
Dagny and
I
Magnus
believe you
donated
would
their
want to pick
exploration
the
rights to
other
the
ending.
Hurricane back
This
to
is the ending
Skiprot.
where we were being
The ship
nice
is now
to
fully
Soren.
public property
The ending
and
where
is
you're
open
mean
to
to
tourists
Soren
at
is
all
slightly
times of the
faster
year.
because you
Dagny
don't
stayed
get
in
that
Skiprot
scene
for a little
of
while,
Soren
but she
being
split
redeemed.
soon after she got her share of the treasure. At first, she seemed content to stay,
So,
but after a
how
couple
would
of
I
days with
improve
no
this
action,
speed run?
it seemed
Well,
like she
number
was
one,
itching
doing
to
it on
get out
game
on the
without
road.
doing it
She
on a
didn't say
computer
much
without
about
any
where she was
slowdown.
going,
Yes,
but I later found
that
a
way
note
I
in
could
my room at
reroute
the
that
pub.
one puzzle,
Catch you later,
the
friend.
one where you
I
have
really
to
dropped
wait
the
for
ball on my
Gunnar.
anniversary with Ned this year. As an
It wasn't
apology,
so bad here. I
planned
mean,
a
I only
makeup
had to
trip
wait
to the River Heights Zoo,
about
his
9 to 10
favorite city
seconds here on
spot.
Master
I'm
Sleuth
hoping
mode.
next
On
year will be
Amateur
better.
Sleuth mode, I
Time
had to
heals
wait 20
all
seconds,
wounds,
and
as
that
they
looked
say.
kind of
As for
bad.
me, I think my time in the land of fire and ice is coming
And that
to a
just really
close.
just
I'll miss the sky
is a
full of
good
stars,
example of
but
what
I've
I've
been
been
in
talking
darkness a
about with
long time
slowdown.
now.
It's like there was
I
a
can't
10
wait to see
second
the sun
difference
again.
between
Love,
Amateur Sleuth
Nancy.
and Master Sleuth modes there, and all of that was slowdown. Okay, and I got the trivia question correctly. Hooray! Ending the speedrun on a nice note.